Broken beyond repair. The untold stories of those who were once broken.
One father came to Jesus because his son was sick. He had a kind of epilepsy, convulsion. He used to fall everywhere, fire, water. And the father came to Jesus and he said, Lord, if you can, do something for my son. And the answer of Jesus was, if I can, everything is possible for those who believe. It's not that I can, I want, but you need to believe. Broken beyond repair, it's for those who believe in God and believe in themselves. But you know, Bishop David, sometimes a person is so broken, so devastated, that even himself, he does not believe that his life can be, nothing is impossible for God. But a person does not believe in himself in a new beginning.
Because with each failure, with each disappointment, it grows. And there's some people, it's like there's a mountain on their shoulders. All the failures, all the problems, all the negative words, and they don't know how to get out. Only God can deliver them from that.
Only Him.
Only He can free them from that burden, that heavy weight, that negativity that's like tying them up in their mind.
We speak like that, we have this conviction, this boldness, for two reasons. Number one, we have the Word of God that never fails.
Yes.
And number two, we have many testimonies to be here the whole day, the whole week, the whole month, showing that once they were broken, but now they are restored.
And you know, we have so many testimonies, like this couple today, testimonies that it was impossible for those people to change.
Lost case.
There was no way they could change, and it required a miracle for them to get out of the hole that they were in.
And this is what He does, a miracle. If it requires a miracle, He does a miracle. So this video, this Broken Beyond Repair video, will be all over the internet. You can share it with a friend of yours, somebody that is really broken. Let us one help the other. You are going to see now the story here with Bishop David and this couple. They were broken, but now they are restored.
Yes. So let's begin. This is Isaac and Rachel. Thanks for coming to the program today.
Thank you for having us.
So let's begin with you, Rachel. What was going on in your life before you came to the church? You've been in the Universal Church how long?
It's going to be 1 year that I've been in the church. Yes. Okay.
So what was going on before? How was your life?
So growing up, I never really knew, or no one ever really taught me about the things of God. So growing up, my mother, she always talked to me more about, not with evil intentions, but just more of witchcraft. She would constantly tell me that there was witchcraft being done to her. There's witchcraft being done to her. And so there was nobody ever in my household to speak to me about the Word of God, the things of God. The only time I ever knew about that was when I would go to my grandma's and she would say a prayer for me before I left or something. But in my household, we never spoke about anything that had to do with God. We would go to church, we would go to a Catholic church, but I felt like I never received anything there. I never took anything there. I never learned anything there.
But your mother was always talking about how someone's doing witchcraft, somebody wants to destroy
her marriage, somebody wants to destroy her.
And so it's like, the way that your mother talked is like witchcraft had more power than God.
Yes. So to me, growing up, without knowing God, without having an encounter with God, without having an encounter with Him, I believe more in the bad. So as I grew up, I didn't believe in God. I was atheist. I was atheist before I came to the Universal Church.
And so you developed panic attacks, right?
Yes. These panic attacks occurred These panic attacks occurred after a breakup. So, out of nowhere, I was in a relationship, and out of nowhere, I just...
Both of you?
Yes, we were in a relationship.
You were in a relationship?
Yes.
And were things going well?
Yes, things were going well. We were at our strongest point right here. We were at our strongest. Like every couple, we had our ups and downs, but we were at our strongest in this moment. And out of nowhere, there just came some thoughts that overcame my mind, saying, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do it anymore.
So fear invaded your mind, right?
Yes. So fear invaded it, and as time went on, broken up, I started feeling anxiety. I started feeling little by little, and I thought it was normal. I thought it was...
I'm sorry, Rachel. If I may ask, how old are you?
23.
So 23, we see here that she's a young lady, so she began to suffer. She was very young. You see that the evil spirits do not regard your age, your color, your education, the money you have or the money you don't have. They came to kill, steal, and destroy.
Or even how good you are, how innocent you are, they don't care. They just come to destroy, right?
How old were you when you start suffering?
With that anxiety, I was 22 or 21, I believe. 21.
But all in all your suffering began at which age? When you start suffering?
When I started suffering, so as a child, about 7 years old.
7 years old. So we have to understand, Bishop David, that we don't fight physically, verbally. We
Yes.
fight spirit. Our place of fight is the altar.
Exactly.
Where we go, our battlefield is the altar. A person cannot make the living room, the bedroom, as a battlefield, like fight against the family. We have to fight on the altar. That is the place of God.
Because that's where God's presence is, that's where He dwells, and that's where God is going to deliver us from any problem.
Yes, He will. Isaac, your turn. We have heard your wife talking about her past life, the suffering. What about you?
Growing up at the age of 8, I had a heart surgery.
Heart
I
surgery.
had to go through a heart surgery, and probably like a month before that, I had broken my elbow. So that made the surgery back up a couple months later, and it was hard for my whole family, and we didn't know why I had to go through that heart surgery. Why it took forever for the doctors to figure out that I had something wrong with my heart. We didn't know the problem. We didn't know what went wrong. And growing up, I felt like I always needed to be better than my brothers. I always needed to do better than them, and that my family expected more of me than they expected of them. It got to the point where I played soccer, and even when I was playing soccer, I felt like my dad and my mom were there, not because they wanted to be there, but because they had to take me to practices and to games. I felt like I wasn't good enough for them, and in me, I always felt sad, and I started feeling depressed. And with all the sadness in me, I started having suicidal thoughts.
So you had depression, surgeries, you had the suicidal thought.
Yes, sir.
That was the situation you came to us.
Yes, sir. I came to church depressed and with those suicidal thoughts as well. It wasn't every day where I felt like that, but most of the time I would feel depressed and I had suicidal thoughts. And even when I was out with friends, I would show that I wasn't sad and that I was totally fine, but in me I was broken. In me I was dying inside. I was dying and I just didn't want to show nobody. I was scared to let that out. And then when I came to church, the first day I came, I felt that sadness, that weight that I was feeling in me. I just felt it. I felt it leave my body. I felt relieved from all the stress and all the depression I had. I didn't have suicidal thoughts anymore, but I just the peace. The first day I came, I felt it.
You said the first day.
The very first day I came, yes. It was on a Friday, the first day I came in.
And this is what we say.
Yeah.
When a person comes to the church for the first time, this person has to, because this peace is the presence of God.
Yes.
A person has to feel the power of God work inside. God will work outside, take care of our matters, our problems, but inside you have to have this peace.
Exactly. And you know, Bishop, Rachel said that you guys broke up at the best time in your relationship, right?
Yes.
And you started to have anxiety, but a bunch of other things too.
Yes, I started to have anxiety. It was little by little. It would get worse as the months would go by. It got to the point where I worked, my anxiety would overwhelm me, and I would get so anxious that I would have to go in the office of the work, and I would just bottle up and just take it because I thought it was normal. I thought it was something that it just had to pass my life. I thought that speaking about it with somebody I thought they would look at me as, oh, it's nothing. Oh, you're exaggerating.
But also you began to develop infections.
Yes. So
and doctors couldn't solve them.
No. So I would constantly go to the doctors and I would get infections. And it was infection after infection. They would give me medication after medication, and they didn't find the solution. They didn't find the answer as to why I kept getting infections and why the medication would just worsen every time I would go. So it was a constant a year and a half of going in and out of the hospital, in and out of the hospital.
And then also you had an accident.
Yes, I also had a car accident. This was leaving work. I went on my lunch. I left in that hour break. I was hit, and during that time as well, I was already drowning in my debts, and so that was even more of a weight on me that I had to carry.
So it's like you believe all of this was witchcraft.
Yes.
Designed to break you up, designed to destroy your life.
Yes.
So when you came to the church, did you start to see a change quickly, like Isaac?
Yes, actually on my first day, I was actually invited by my neighbor. My neighbor invited my mom, and my mom invited me, and she told us, okay, let's go. I didn't go to church looking for a solution from God. I just went thinking, since all I knew was, looking towards witches for help, because that's what my mom always searched for, her help in that. I thought it was going to be something like that. But the first day that I went to church, I felt this overwhelming peace that I have never felt ever before in my first day. And in that day, that's when God revealed to me there is a God that can free me from anything.
And you had to go through deliverance?
Yes.
You had to get free from evil spirits?
Yes.
That had been working in your life, the spirits of witchcraft?
Yes.
And so now, you just got married, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Huh?
Yes, we did.
When?
We're about to be 2 months in the 17th of this month.
So congratulations are in
Thank
order.
you.
Huh?
Thank you.
Amen. Recently married, still honeymoon. So you said you have peace.
Yes, sir.
No more depression, no more suicidal thoughts.
No more.
And you, no more anxiety.
No more.
All the problems from your childhood, the traumas, everything over.
Yes, everything is over.
Well, they were broken inside and outside. Now there was a solution. There is a solution for you. They found the solution. Come to the Universal Church. Go to one church just near you. By the way, I want to talk about a challenge. The challenge of broken beyond repair. Take the challenge. If you say, my life is just like Isaac, Rachel, my life is broken, I want to change. So I challenge you to call this number. Call this number or send me a text right now. This is the challenge of broken beyond repair. 1-888-332-4141. When you call, one of my attendants, one of my counselors will speak to you. Just tell them, I am watching, and the bishop said for me to take the challenge and call. Or else you can send a text. I have my device here with me, and always I answer the text. I read the text message when you send. We are going to reply to you, and we are going to be praying for you. We cannot disclose here people's number or their privacy, but you see that I have many texts here, and yours can come to my device. Just text me right now. This is the number for the text. 1-888-312-4141. This number is only for text, not for calls. 888-312-4141. Broken Beyond Repair Challenge.
Share now this video with a friend or family member and watch our new episodes every Monday here on our YouTube channel.